Hello comic fans, here's Earl Grey, continuing my run-through or flip-through all of my Love and Rockets issues, and we're now up to magazine number 7, but I want to talk about 8 and 9 as well. So we have a lot of pages to flip and a lot of art to marvel at. Let's get started with this fine cover here for magazine number 7, done by Jaime. The cover was done in 1984, and that's the year when all the 3 issues came out. Originally, I own the second printings from 1991. The back cover here is from Mario Hernandez, and we have a foreword by Gary Groth, a letters column, and for Maggie it's back to a far of Ireland, again working with Rand Race. The story starts here with a panel that is an overt homage or persiflage of Roy Lichtenstein, the pop artist, and he could have made a painting of that panel. Would have been a fine painting, of course. And like before, she tells her friends what's happening about her adventures with Rand Race, how she tries to get in some kind of romantic relationship with him, but the most amazing thing is, I guess, how they correspond with each other, Hopi and Maggie, showing how strong their relationship is actually. Maggie and Rand Race meet here one of Jaime's most creepiest characters, Dr.Beaky, always accompanied by these twin slave girls. Yeah, I meant creepy when I said creepy. He wants Rand Race and Maggie to build him some robots here. He's a competitor of H.R. Costigan, Penny Century's friend. And somehow they have a discussion that ends not so well for Rand Race. The story will continue in the next issue. On the next page we have the continuation of Gilbert's story about the romantic relationship between Luba and the mortician Archie, who has some hallucinations right here that Luba has become one of his clients, which is of course not true. Luba's bathhouse exploded. No, her projector exploded. She has some kind of movie theater in Palomar, and so she has to go to the big city. And when she came back, it seems to end well for Archie and Luba, at least for now. And then we have a nice, sweet, interesting, intelligent story by Jaime, in which actually nothing happens, only that Izzy gave her brother Speedy some beer, and Speedy and his friend, they empty the beer under a tree and have a little dialogue here. It's actually a lesson in how not to tell a story, but Jaime pulls this off very nicely, and we learn a lot about different characters, not only about Izzy's past, but about Maggie's familiar circumstances, and that Speedy likes her quite a bit. And yeah, in fact, we have here 5 pages of more or less mere exposition that are shoehorned into these panels here. But they're so elegantly told and so off the cuff and light-hearted that it's really a breeze to read these 5 pages. Maybe my favorite pages in this issue here. Or, yeah, it's art competition with the Whispering Tree here. A story in which Guadeloupe, the daughter of Heraclio and Luba, so it's almost, or it is actually the next generation since the start of Heartbreak Soup and the Palomar series here. Guadeloupe tells her story about a talking tree here, and she likes to scare her sister, and in the end she's scared by this tree herself. But smart-ass little girls are a different story. And who did that? The author himself, obviously. Oh, Beto, you mean old... Gilbert, you mean old drunk. What did you do that for? Booyah, a witch made me do it. So, yeah, nice little play with the medium, and the letters pages here are always nice even when people just try to explain their love for Love and Rockets with overflowing metaphors or comparisons here. This guy Aaron Hadley, for instance, compares it to the experience of his favorite LP, Black Flag's Nervous Breakdown, and so on. And it's always nice if people have taste. So here's the back catalogue of Love and Rockets issues. Like I said, this is some kind of reprint. Now to issue 8 with a nice Jaime front cover and Gilbert cover on the back. We have the continuation of the mechanic story, but now focusing on the friends back home. What does Hopi and all the others are doing while Maggie's away? Well, they preparing for some kind of concert, which is a lot of trouble. I don't want to go into details here, but showcasing here one of these instances where Jaime puts himself into 2 panels here. This guy here has to be him, I guess. And yeah, then we go to Maggie, what she's doing on. Actually, Randrace has some kind of flirt with this journalist who wants to do an interview and a bit more with him, which ends to some kind of shenanigans of the more soap opera vein here, while Rina Titanion comes to this island and visits this strange fellow Dr.Beaky, who has to deal with some kind of revolution on his island. And I will never tire to point out how masterfully Jaime uses black and white and changes of perspectives. And simple cartooning like that here when Randrace races through the streets. And in a way, this really points out and underlines what a cartoonish and two-dimensional figure Randrace actually is, at least in comparison to all the female characters in the Jaime stories, who are much more interesting. Yeah, shit goes down pretty quickly here, and the end of the story we will witness in the next magazine here. And on the next page, it's back to Gilbert. The Laughing Sun introduces us. I guess it's the first time we see Tonantzin here. There's a scantily clothed woman, but the story is not so much about her, but about Jesus, who had supposedly abused his wife, and so now escaped into the mountains nearby Palomar, and now his friends Heraclio and Israel and Sach and of course Vicente, they go and try to find him and bring him back to reason and yeah, basically try to help him in his obviously paranoid situation, which is enough reason for Gilbert to squeeze some nice memories of their past childhood into these pages here. So we can see them once again as kids here with Pipo, and so Vicente remembers how he and Jesus were afraid of the devil one time before. And there are some other memories that carry the story here. And issue 8 is concluded with a story from Heartbreak Soup Theater, where Luba and her kids and Tippin visit the beach and meet other people like them and this strange guy here, Isidro. And he's a poor guy. He lost his wife and his business and got mad, and now he believes he owns the beach. And I guess it's Maricela who draws her own conclusion from all the events of that day. And you're not supposed to play doctor on Isidro's beach without asking him. So, light-hearted end to one of these wonderful Love and Rocket issues. And now to Love and Rockets number 9, where we can see Rena Titanion and Maggie. They're in the sewer of this island of Dr.Beaky and try to survive. And so it's one of these covers that really have to do something with the story within. And we have once again a Mario back cover there. So, Mechanics Part 4 is dominated by the repercussions and ramifications of that revolution where Rena Titanion and Maggie try to survive in the sewers, and Jaime can play out his skills with black and white. But somehow Jaime managed obviously to squeeze in some other characters in the story as well, like Penny Century here and Maggie's aunt Vicky Glory, the other wrestling lady here, while Penny Century fears for her friends and Miss Titanion. But they will survive, as you can think here. End of part 4. We have to wait for the happy ending, actually. But the Laughing Sun here is concluded in this issue. So the friends find Jesus in the mountains. In spite of the fact that their life has gone in different directions, they still feel responsible for each other. And we're wrapping up with another Rocky story. I actually haven't remembered that there are so many Rocky stories in these first issues here. She's a girl of the age of 16, and she goes away for a day and on a boat trip, and against the will of her parents, obviously. It's a bit of a Calvin Hobbes situation, a bit more grown-up Calvin and Hobbes, and Fumble, her little Robert here, appears to be more, like a Hobbes of a more grown-up girl, an imaginary friend, so to speak. But nothing too weird happens, and she comes home, and everything's fine. But their parents know that she is made for the stars. And like we witnessed before, eventually she may go for the stars, to the stars. So, and that was issue number 9. And like in the other videos, I like to remember that you can get these stories in different formats. Of course, in these hardbacks that I'll always show in the end of these videos here, for Jaime stories and for Gilbert stories as well. And if you don't mind the shrunken format, you can go for the Love and Rockets books that are easily available via Fantagraphics. Not particular this volume here, but that's the only one that I own from that series. And as I always say, I'll recommend to try to get these softcover trades here. They reorganize the stories and regroup them so that they may or may not make more sense. So the stories that I've talked about today are divided over 3 and 4. Thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye.